Hello and welcome to TheMan Games. This is the podcast show. It's the man
And the wife.
podcast. So today we're doing something a little bit different. We are doing our predictions for 2021. Now we are recording this on the 10th of December. So if things do change, like
in the next 21 days.
Yeah. That'll be right. Maybe it doesn't make any sense.
All our predictions go out the window. You said to me earlier today, it's like, oh, should we do a podcast tonight? We'll just do some predictions. So just go up with 10 predictions, and you made it sound like it should be like the easiest thing in the world. I feel like I've been racking my brains all day to come up with 10 predictions.
Oh, darn.
And even then, I think some of them you're going to laugh at, to be honest. And you're going to call me an idiot. So I just look forward to it.
So before we go into our predictions, I'd just like to say, if this is your first time listening to the Man and the Wife podcast, please hit that subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube and like this video. Also, if you're enjoying what you're listening to. So yeah, stick with us and listen to our predictions. So, do you want to go first? Or?
No, you go first. Can I get the? I don't really know how to make a prediction.
Okay.
This is the first time I've done this.
Well. So I started writing some ideas down maybe 3 weeks ago. So
and mine have been done today. Okay. Just so you know that, people.
So the first one I had was Aleister Black to go back down to NXT, but then recently it's come out that he's asked to go to NXT and it's been turned down. But I'm still keeping with my prediction that I think Aleister Black will go down to NXT.
Yeah. Okay, I'd love to see Aleister Black, and Finn Balor.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Aleister Black and Karrion Kross.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that would be, good. But honestly, the way like Selena Vega got treated, I could honestly see Aleister Black not really, like, just being quiet and not renewing his contract kind of thing, personally. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that was my first.
What's your first one?
Prediction.
My first prediction. If Ronda Rousey isn't pregnant, because obviously we all know that she's trying for a family, isn't she?
Yeah.
If she's not pregnant, she'll be an entrant in the Royal Rumble.
Huh? That's a good one.
That's all I get. That's the feedback I get from mine. I'm like, I like to see Finn Balor and Aleister Black. Like, yeah.
Well, yeah, but like, I can't say, oh yeah, but I hope she doesn't win, or like.
No, I just mean like, do you think that's a valid thing, or?
Oh no, I could see it could happen.
Obviously, I had to put the little disclaimer there if she's not pregnant, because obviously, if she falls pregnant or something, then obviously that's not going to happen, is it?
I guess not.
Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing at you.
I don't like giving you my predictions.
So my second prediction is that they'll. I'll leave that one to later. Actually, if we do get like fans back next year. So, like, more at full capacity. The Undisputed Era to get called up to the main roster. 2021, I think, must be their year to get called up, just because I feel like they've done so much in NXT, really. And, there's not really more, as a group, if you're keeping together, they can really do. They've all held, championships. The only other way to keep them in NXT is to break them up. But I don't really want them to break up. I want them to get called up. And... I mean, look at how terrible Retribution has been. Imagine if they just hadn't done Retribution and done an Undisputed Era.
Yeah, that's true. No, I actually, it's like one of my predictions, so I'll go on to this one next. And I said the Undisputed Era will be at Mania. I think they'll be called up before Mania, and I hope so, because I agree with you. I do think that they need to go up now. Hopefully they don't do like a whole Saturday thing with them. Hopefully they'll actually use them properly. And maybe feud with the Hurt Business.
Maybe.
No, you don't seem very convinced by that. But yeah, so and the Hurt. I was trying to think who could they feud with, or who would be a good match for them at Mania. And I originally thought like maybe New Day, and I was like, don't know. And then I thought of could the whole with the Big E not being there and all that sort of thing. And then I thought the Hurt Business. I just love everything MPV is doing, so I think him and Adam Cole sort of like facing it off would be good.
Talking trash.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, on the mic. I thought that'd be really good.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like another team that could go up against. The first thing I thought was maybe Roman Reigns and the Uso and a fourth person, but who could that fourth person be?
No idea.
Like I was thinking The Rock, but I think that was a bit of a big get.
It's funny you said that because I was literally just thinking The Rock.
I mean, this isn't actually a prediction, but like if you wanted to do like a dream prediction, it would be The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Like fight for the chief, tribal chief thing.
Who is the real head of the table?
Yeah, the overall. Yeah. Your turn now.
Sorry, it's my turn. Yeah.
It is your turn.
So my next prediction is that there will be a second women's Evolution.
Ooh, that's a good shout. Good shout.
Just because I feel like they've really dropped the ball and not doing another one. I think it's time to do another one.
Especially if they get the crowds, people, humans.
The crowd.
I couldn't think of what it's called. The crowds back in. I think that will definitely be something that should go forward. Do you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, definitely,
like, yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were gonna like
go further with that. Yeah. So did I, but I couldn't go any further. So my next prediction is Becky Lynch will be at the will be at WrestleMania in some capacity. So I don't necessarily think she'll be wrestling because obviously she's just given birth a few days ago, and I think like 7 months postpartum will she be? Wait, April. That's 4 months postpartum. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think obviously that's far too much, but I think that I wouldn't be surprised if she just like turns up for some reason. Like, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Do you disagree?
I don't disagree, but I was going to save this till the last. But my next prediction is that Becky Lynch will return and win the Royal Rumble.
No way.
Stranger things have happened.
No, there's no way. At 2 months after giving birth, you think she's going to get into a wrestling ring and win?
She only needs to come out at number 30. She comes out at number 30, eliminates probably Charlotte Flair, and she didn't need to wrestle again until Mania, which is your prediction.
I don't think she's going to wrestle.
All right, okay.
I said she's be there in some capacity. I'm just trying to think what I was like at 2 months postpartum.
Yeah, but no offense, darling, but she's like an athlete at the top of the game.
I know that. I just mean like. I went for a run. I was lucky I didn't wet myself. Like, do you know what I mean? Anyway.
So that kind of podcast, darling.
Sorry. My next prediction. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this is a bit of a curveball. I don't think you're going to agree with me on this one at all. But when Daniel Bryan's contract is up in September, he goes to AEW.
That is a very curveball. I don't see it happening there.
No, but
I would love it to happen.
I guess that's more of a
if he wasn't
a fantasy than a prediction.
Maybe, yeah. If he wasn't married to Brie Bella, I could see it happening.
But why do you think Brie Bella's going to stop him from doing that?
I don't think she'd stop him from doing that. I just think with the whole Total Bellas and things like that, I don't think it'd be in their best interest to let him go to AEW just because the amount of money they'll probably make off Total Bellas and Total Divas and that they need him on that shirt, and obviously he won't be able to do that if he's in AEW. Because like when Paige was with Del Rio, he was meant to be on Total Divas, but then when he got released from the company, they cut like you see him for a brief second, and they cut all his scenes.
Right.
So yeah, if he wasn't married to, Brie Bella, I could see that happening, but I think they're in financially too much of a good situation to try and jeopardise that.
I suppose. I bet he's good about that as well. He hates, like, no, he hates money. Well, he hates money, doesn't he? He hates, like, that sort of element of life. He just wants to live a simple life and do what he wants. And I bet he'd love to go over to AEW and wrestle some people over there and have, like, that schedule. Because their schedule's a lot less...
It's 1 day a week, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, unlike WWE. And, like, he could be at home with his kids, which I think he would love. Hey. Anyway.
So, my next prediction is an Impact Wrestling prediction. It is Jordan Grace to win the Impact World Championship.
Okay. That's a good prediction.
I just think, Tesha Blanchard won it and she was a female. Jordan Grace came very close to winning the X Division Championship a few weeks ago.
Right. Right.
If she doesn't win the women's tag team titles in this tournament that's going on, obviously she's a former Knockouts champion. So what else is there for her to do? Like in Impact Wrestling, go for that not men's title because women's won it, but
go for that title.
Go for the main title on that show. And I know, like, if you look at the picture now, it looks like Kenny Omega is going to be like challenging Rich Swann for the Impact Wrestling Championship, maybe. But 2020's been a long year. 2021's probably going to be a long year as well. So
We're not sure
it might not be an early prediction, but like maybe like this time next year, it could be happening.
It's funny you said that about Johnny Gross because one of my predictions was that like obviously with anything going on with Kenny Omega at the moment and like Impact and AEW seem to be like working together in some form, aren't they? I think that the AEW and Impact Women divisions are going to merge together. And I think they're going to do something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Grace wins the belt in AEW.
Yeah, AEW just have a really disappointing.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that if they do,
I know we've said this a lot of time, but I was thinking, I love John Grace to go to Impact AEW and wrestle, and I was like, well, they don't want to wrestle there. Like,
yeah,
it's not really that. Like, you could say Britt Baker.
Yeah, there's not. I know what you mean. I think I'd like to see AEW and Impact like sort of work together and sort of build the women's divisions because obviously Impact do have their knockout division is really good. I think that company has always been quite good with their women's. From what I know.
Oh yeah. When Impact Wrestling was TNA, they had an all women's. I'm sure they did a pay-per-view, but they did an all women's like Impact.
Yeah.
So like Impact's like an episode of Raw, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
So like, yeah, they were way ahead of WWE, and they were doing more, treating their women's division better than WWE, like back in in the early '90s. Late '90s.
Yeah. So hopefully we can see with working with Impact, hopefully AEW can set their game up and in some form we can get a better women's division. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do sort of like merge them together. I'd love them to get rid of the AEW women's belt, but that's not going to happen, is it?
Probably not. Another thing, we just like Tony Khan was on Impact Wrestling, and you know who Tony Khan is, don't you?
Yeah, he's been working with Kenny Omega.
No, that's Don Callis.
Damn it, Tony Khan.
Tony Khan is the person who owns AEW.
Ah, right, okay.
So he was on Impact Wrestling with Tony Schiavone, and he was saying that he's been checking out the tag teams in Impact Wrestling.
Right.
Why are you checking out the tag teams in Impact Wrestling? Because you've got so many tag teams in AEW, but you should be checking out the women's division.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, in AEW, they've got so many tag teams. It's unreal. They've got SDU, they've got Young Bucks, they've got FTR, they've got Jurassic Express, there's Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz, Dark Order, Private Party,
Best Friends.
Best Friends, yeah. There's just loads. Miro, Kip Sabian, you don't need to be looking at tag teams. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to see like the North or the Good Brothers in AEW, but like I think if they're trying to make AEW into an all-round good show, like their women's division is the weakest part, and that's where they need to fix it. And I think giving the women one segment a week on TV isn't the way to fix it either.
Like WWE, isn't it?
It should be giving them two segments. Like how can they do something better if not giving the time to do it?
Yeah, that's it. That is very, very true. You're next, I think.
Am I? I don't think I am because I said John Grace about winning.
Yeah, and then one of my predictions was Impact and AEW merged together, their women's merged together. Oh,
sorry, darling.
So you can listen to me if you want.
So my next prediction is for Survivor Series, obviously 2021. They don't do the Raw versus SmackDown brand warfare BS. Just because I'm kind of hoping this year they've learned that it's not a good thing to do and no one cares.
Yeah.
And concentrate on the storylines instead of putting all the storylines on hold for this Raw versus SmackDown situation that no one really cares about. Or, like, if they were to continue doing it, just give them a reason to want to win.
Yeah.
But no, I predict that they don't do it and they focus on
The actual storylines.
actual storylines. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. My next prediction is about Money in the Bank.
Ooh.
And I've got Bianca Belair wins a women's Money in the Bank.
I like that one. I think that's the best prediction you've said so far.
Oh, thanks. 1 out of 4. No, not even that. 1 out of 6. I think I said so far. Brilliant.
So my next one is that Nick Aldis Magnus, if you don't know him as Nick Aldis, appears on AEW and does some kind of working relationship with AEW as well.
Okay.
Obviously he's part of like the NWA at the moment, but the NWA women's division's in AEW, so I could see Nick Aldis
coming in doing some stuff.
Yeah,
as
he's
well.
meant to be good friends with Cody, so I think that could be something that happens as well.
Okay. My next prediction: Britt Baker becomes women's champ.
That's a good one as well.
You just said that now to be nice.
No.
I don't know when.
I feel like it's something that should have happened already.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that's like I don't understand. To me, and this is just maybe to me, she seems like more of a star than whoever the champ is. Who I can't remember her name.
Hikaru Shida.
That's it. Do you know what? I can't remember her name.
But maybe that's why they've not put the title on her, because they think that she's one of the only women's division wrestlers that doesn't need the title, maybe.
Perhaps, yeah. But yeah, I'd like to see her become champ in 2021.
Good. So my next one is Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page main event in AEW pay-per-view for the AEW World Championship.
Okay.
Just because we just seen it at Full Gear, they had the opening match. They definitely left like fuel in the tank kind of thing. I could see Hangman Adam Page potentially beating Kenny Omega for the AEW Championship.
It'd be interesting when they do that, because obviously everything they're doing at the moment is like Kenny with Impact.
Yeah.
So
well, they're doing like Kenny collecting titles, so it sounds like he's gonna be. Well, spoiler alert, he's probably gonna win like loads of championships from different divisions.
Yeah. Interesting.
So do you not think that's a good prediction? Or?
I do think it's a good prediction, but will it happen in 2021? Because AEW might stretch it out. I don't know.
I don't think Kenny Omega will have as long as a reign as John Moxley's had.
Oh really? He was trying to collect all these titles.
Well, yeah, but like, I think because like Kenny Omega's just won the title, you can be like a bit. Like, I'm not saying you personally, but people can be a bit like closed-minded in things. Like a year's a long time. Like just because these predictions don't mean to say they're all going to happen like really soon.
No, I know that. That's I suppose maybe.
So it's you now.
Yep. My next one is Royal Rumble. I know this probably isn't going to happen, and you're going to laugh at me when I say this. I'd love to see Keith Lee win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I would love that to happen as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's probably going to be like someone like Randy Orton or something like that, or like
someone that doesn't need it.
Yeah, or like Edge is going to come back and win it, or
I wouldn't mind Edge coming back and winning it.
I just feel like they need to put some of their young talent over. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, I completely agree.
And I just think Keith Lee would be a great person. I feel like they haven't completely killed him yet.
Okay.
What?
It's just the way you said completely killed him.
Well, yeah, but like they do with the golden young stars that come up. So.
Like who? Like Ricochet, or Cedric Alexander, or Ali, or Dana Brooke, or...
The list goes on.
So my next one's kind of like a 2-in-1, but I won't say them together. So my next one is Sting's first AEW match will be against Dustin Rhodes.
Ooh, okay.
Just because I can see it being like a bit of a nostalgia thing, because obviously they love each other early in WCW days. It'll be a match people didn't think they were going to ever see again. So I could see that being...
And they could work together in the sense that, like, obviously Sting can't do a lot of things that he's 61. And...
Yeah. Or, like, I could actually see it being maybe on an episode of Dynamite, but being like a cinematic match, not like a real
Yeah.
match.
That's a good point. I think a cinematic match is definitely the way to go, unless it's a tag team match.
Yeah.
Sting, because I mean, we also have with Seth Rollins.
Yeah, we don't want a Night Champion situation.
No, we don't. My next one may have already come true. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh God.
So I'm gonna say it. So if it's happened, don't shout at me. I know a little bit's happened, but I don't know how much of it's happened. So I'd like to see the grizzled young veterans be full time on NXT.
I think they're meant to be, but I think
Right.
they got the call up that is it a call up because it's still like NXT.
Yeah.
But then obviously the pandemic hit,
Okay.
and then they've only just come back over. But I think.
So I'm not, because I know we saw them on TV the other week or the other day even, and but I wasn't sure if that was just how sometimes they just do a little fling and then they go back and forth. But I'd love to see them become NXT champions.
Yeah, I think that's
champions, obviously.
I would say that's a better. I'd go with that as your prediction.
Okay, good to young veterans to be NXT champions by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's a good
Tag
one.
champions.
So my final one, it is Sting related again. It is Sting will face Cody at All Out. Yeah, that's it.
I got.
But the pay-per-views don't really have as much as AEW. The pay-per-views don't really have Clash of Champions. It's All Out. It's not like a big name, isn't it?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's very two short letters put together. Words even put together.
Two short words. Two words All Out. Sting and Darby Allin become some sort of tag team, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think they do. In some capacity, they'll do something that will enable Sting to be able to wrestle, but not obviously in a full match. But I think after we saw that whole stare down thing and he's like, oh, it looks very familiar and all that jazz, and Darby was up in the rafters, I think that they're definitely going to do something like that.
Yeah, well, I've seen a few people online saying that they could fight each other for the TNT Championship. Obviously, because Sting used to be the face of TNT, back in the day, in WCW days. But I don't really know how a Sting and Darby Allin match would work, really, just because Sting needs to, if he's having a match, he needs to be in a safe, having a safe match, whereas Darby Allin's style wrestling is more of a, I'll fall backwards and not look where I'm landing kind of guy. Yeah. So yeah, maybe I don't know. Making a tag team and breaking them up was a very easy thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought that.
So, yeah, who knows? So that was our predictions. But before we finish, there's obviously I'm not throwing you a curveball. I said I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
Don't ask me questions.
So this is just a few things that I would like to see change in 2021. So not really predictions, just things I'd like to see change.
Right, okay.
So the first one, obviously, something we've always said about it on the show is obviously the AEW women's division to improve. We don't need to go into it because we've
literally just covered it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No cross-brand stuff in WWE. So just no people just turning up for random reasons or anything like that.
That's
just
let
Raw be Raw, let SmackDown be SmackDown. And that be it. Another thing I like to see Ricochet, Aleister Black, and Chad Gable, just to name a few. Get more TV time, let them showcase what they can do.
Yeah.
The next one is something was one of your predictions. It is Keith Lee to win the Royal Rumble. That is what I'd like to see.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had good predictions, didn't I?
Yeah. Another thing, this is something they would never do, but it's something that I love WWE to drop the themed pay-per-views. Obviously, not Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, but TLC, Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber. Drop them, and then when someone has a TLC match, it feels special. Do you know what I mean? I feel as well this year there's been loads of ladder matches on WWE, and now we will have just seen TLC, obviously, when this podcast airs. But I don't know why is it that special that it's TLC. There's gonna be a lot of match when we've seen so many this year already.
Yeah.
There's a lot of match at WrestleMania. There's a lot of match at
what's going to happen if they drop themed podcast pay-per-views. What's wrong with them? They drop themed pay-per-views. You know, with things like called like the Great Ball of Fire and Great Balls of Fire and those sort of
That
crap
name
names.
was terrible, but it was a really good pay-per-view actually.
Yeah, I know, but like, and then like, what else was there? There's like
Fatal 4-Way?
no, like
No?
another crappy name for it.
Battleground?
Yeah, what's that one that's like the car one that's like just before WrestleMania and it's
Fastlane?
yeah, and those sorts of things like
Roadblock?
yeah.
And it annoys me as well with pay-per-views have like Roadblock, End of the Line, or
Yeah.
Extreme Rules, the horror show.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, well, this it might have happened in a way already. So, but obviously I wrote these down like a few weeks ago. It would be for Impact Wrestling to sign a really big name, someone that could build, like kind of like how they did with Kurt Angle when it was TNA. They got a big name and tried to build it around him. Because like I do feel like, obviously now I started watching Impact Wrestling every week again. This was before the Kenny Omega thing. I started watching it again at Slammiversary when the company seems to have like changed and there's more like regular faces from me. Anyway, to because like it's hard to watch a wrestling show when you don't know like 90% of the people.
And I think it's
Whereas,
hard
like,
living in the UK because like I can remember when we were in America for can't remember what we were there for. It may have been Royal Rumble. And I was listening to people in the crowd at NXT and they're talking about like going to all these indie shows and that.
Yeah.
And so the new people like I'd never even heard of, and I was like, oh,
because Rich Swann was like debuting in a dark match and everyone knew who he was and we didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, and we were like, what's
Same
going
with Andrade.
on? Yeah, and yeah, I feel like because we don't get that element. So being able to watch like Impact for us is just like, well, who are these people? But obviously, if you watch indie shows and you can access them in America, it's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's like I watched Slammiversary and there was, the Motor City Machine Guns returned. The Good Brothers are on it. Heath Miller, formerly known as Heath Slater, he was on it. EC3 came back. Obviously he's not there now. Eric Young came back. There was so many, good things. Deonna Purrazzo, was in AEW.
More common names.
Impact Wrestling by then, yeah. So yeah, like he could maybe say that Kenny Omega is, if he's going to be a regular thing on Impact, this could have potentially happened. But I kind of feel like they need a big star to, build the show around.
Yeah.
And like we said before, it looks like Kenny's going for the Impact Wrestling Championship. So if he does win it, surely he's gonna have to be on the show.
Yeah.
So maybe that prediction, or not really wasn't a prediction. Something I'd like to see. Maybe that is already in the works happening. I mean, it could have already have happened by the time this goes live. So sorry if you just listened to me ramble about Jack Orr there.
No apparent reason.
So, like I said, I work for a co-bell, but is there anything you'd like to see change in 2021?
I definitely agree with this, the women's AEW and keeping the brands in WWE. I can't think of it. It's just like jumping at me off the top of my head.
I've actually just thought of another one. It's kind of something we've kind of already said already, but like what we said about the Undisputed Era getting called up. I'd love to see Johnny Gargano get called up as well. Maybe potentially Tommaso Ciampa, just because I feel like they've done all they can do in NXT. I know everyone's could be like, well, they're going to get called up and get used wrong, but I suppose you need to at least try.
You need to have faith.
You need to at least try.
Something's going to go right, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see WWE stop like, just like this whole. I want to see them use their new talent, which I know you said, but like, that wasn't their point. Like Randy Orton was a champ, and the Miz was or is Money in the Bank champion. His Money in the Bank briefcase. Sorry, and it's like, well, this could have happened 10 years ago.
It did happen 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's just like that's so sad.
Yeah.
Really sad. Like let's let's freshen up a bit, guys. Look at all these amazing talent you
But
got
at
here.
least, and like it probably sounds like I'm defending WWE and not meaning to, but at least there are people that are still in good shape and in good condition, and like it's not like the Goldberg situation of coming back and winning the belt. It's not like Goldberg's the world champion, and you've
Yeah, I
got.
know, but I just feel like I don't know.
All I mean is it could be worse. You know, Goldberg could be the Universal Champion, and then you've got someone like. I don't know if that's what my head said. Kevin Nash, and that's really random. Bin Money in the Bank briefcase
Yeah, I
holder.
suppose. Yeah, I guess. At least they're two people who have been constant in WWE for the last 10 years. Well, virtually.
Yeah.
Like they're not like, as you say, like Goldbergs or whatever. No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, so that's all I'm gonna say.
So yeah, that was our predictions for 2021. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. It's a bit of a shorter one than we normally do, but I hope you enjoyed it all the same. Make sure you check out the other content out on the YouTube channel. And yeah, subscribe to TheMan Games and like this video if you've enjoyed what you listened to. So that was it from The Man
And the wife.
podcast show today. Thank you for listening.